Good morning, Mr. Mohammed. How
Morning.
are you?
Good morning, Jocelyn. How are you?
First of all, I want to thank you for giving me this chance to have an interview with you um, for a product of mine in inclusion. So I really appreciate your time and the effort that you're going to be putting with me today.
Thank you very much. I hope that I'll be useful in the information that I'll be providing you.
And as you requested, we will not be having the camera on,
Yes,
um,
please.
and I will only be sharing the audio part of it as a source of your privacy and identity. So I just
Okay.
wanted to make that clear.
Yes, thank you.
Can you please just tell me a little bit about Saeed, your son?
Okay, so my son. Okay, so Saeed is 7 years
Wait,
old.
before we begin, would you like to speak in English or in Arabic? Which language do you prefer, Mr. Mohammed?
I'll be using both English and Arabic.
Okay, that's
Okay. So my son Saeed, uh, he's 7 years old currently right now. He was born with a impairment, noise impairment, in which we found it throughout the process of him growing up. So it was very difficult for us at the beginning in order for us to know how to deal with him. After seeing how the things that he's going through, us
fine.
as parents,
What were some of the first signs that your child showed of this hearing impairment?
um, the basics in general. So let's, for example, misunderstanding what we said. He used to always hire the TV. All the people in the room would be covering their ears because the voice is very high, but he didn't used to hear well. Um, what else? He used to have difficulties in understanding what we were saying and following instructions.
Okay. Did you tend to have to
Um,
repeat yourself several times?
we always used to have to repeat ourselves.
Okay,
Um,
yeah. Continue, sorry.
he didn't used to respond when we used to call his name.
Okay. So
So
these were all signs that
yeah,
you collected all of these signs and you realized that your son has a hearing impairment.
yes,
After that, of course, you went to a specialist and you got it tested, correct?
yes.
Okay. When you first figured out that your son has a hearing impairment, what challenges did you face at the beginning? I'm sure it was a shock, but
It was
what challenges did you go through? If you
okay.
don't want to answer this question, this is fine. We can skip it.
No,
Um,
no, it's okay. So at the beginning, me and my wife, we felt very overwhelmed. The information that was given to us that our son doesn't hear well or that he has a hearing impairment, we took it as a shock, to be honest. Um, we felt fear, we felt overwhelming, um, a lot of feelings, mixed feelings. Um, we had difficulties in accepting it at the first because us as parents we lack the knowledge of anyone uh, not any ولا حدا from our family or my wife's family had this problem, so we don't have the knowledge in it
did they tell you it was
because
something genetic, or what was the reason behind this, or the doctors did not mention? Did they mention this to you?
doctors they did several tests. uh, they said that it might be genetic or it might be something that he was born with or throughout the process of him growing up. We still don't know the main reason, but let's say it's something genetic.
Okay. And
Okay,
how hard was it to communicate with him at first?
okay, so it was very hard for us to communicate because we always used to have to scream. And so let's say that we were in public, we wanted to reach something to any talk to him. It was very not nice for us to be yelling and screaming in public.
So your
So
tone,
we
let's say
used
your
to,
tone was high,
yes.
so he can
So
hear.
we had, yes. So we had to go and learn sign language. Me and my wife, we went to a institution that teaches sign language, which was also a financial burden, not only on him, my son Saeed, but also on us because we used to pay extra money in order for us to learn this sign language, and not to mention about all the doctors and the tests that have been done on him in order for us to give out the best outcomes for Saeed.
Another question. Does Saeed currently have a hearing aid or did he get some kind of implant? What is it
Um,
exactly?
yes, he has an implant in his ear. It's something called cochlear implants. It's like a hearing aid in which it soothes out the hearing, so he
Uh,
can feel not like a black sheep between his colleagues or his friends.
you mentioned that you learned sign language. Your wife and you learned sign language, correct?
Yes,
You learned
yes,
the
yes, we have learned.
American
Yes,
Sign Language, the British American.
yeah,
And
the American.
you found difficulties finding institutes that teach sign language, or was it, let's say, easier to find an institute?
It was easier to it, not there's nothing easy, so we searched a lot in order for us to find something that teaches the English, the American
And here in Dubai,
sign
there are
language.
several institutes actually that teach
Yes,
American Sign Language,
yes,
correct?
yes. There are several, but we were searching for the best prices uh, due to
Yeah,
the financials
financial
of the
issue.
family because yes,
Um,
financial situation.
okay, another question. Since you're an Arab, did you learn
Yeah.
Arabic Sign Language or did you only stick to the American Sign Language?
Okay, so we only learned the American Sign Language because the Arabic Sign Language, uh, because throughout school he only learns his school is international,
Yeah.
so he only takes one or two subjects in Arabic. So we found it will be easier for the American because half of his friends are all foreigners, and it will be easier to communicate due to the American Sign Language to be more simpler than the Arabic.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Did you find any educational challenges with him at first?
Of course, we found educational challenges because he's 7 years old. He doesn't know how to deal with the situation in which it was very hard to see your own son going through something very hard, something like that.
Um,
At excuse me.
yeah. Does he have any other siblings?
Yes,
Is he?
he's sorry.
Yes, continue.
He's the oldest. He's the oldest.
Okay,
So
and
that
yes, sorry.
sorry
Please
again.
continue. No, no,
Sorry.
please continue.
Okay, so he's the oldest, and his siblings also tried to learn the sign language in order to communicate with him, and in which this sign language has built the communication and how we have stronger relationship because of the sign language, in which we feel special once we talk to him.
Oh, so your younger children speak. They know how to sign as well. Okay. Did
Yes,
they learn in
they
an
have
institute?
learned it.
Yeah.
Uh, so they learned it from us, and also to like a couple of sessions at the institute, just to strengthen their communications. But they learned it from us.
Okay. What accommodations or resources have you found to be most helpful in supporting your child's education and development?
Okay, so if my wife was here, she would have answered this question better than me. But
He is taking
we
care of the
used
educational part.
yeah. So I'll give you briefly about it. We use hearing aids. Um is that what you meant by my question?
No, you mentioned that you did the cochlear implant.
Yeah, we did the cochlear implant, yes. And we used other technologies in which it can help him and communicate better with his colleagues.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, sorry.
this cochlear implant, it amplifies the sound
Hmm.
in which he can hear better. And also through lip reading, we taught him, but
He
he
depends on
can't,
lip reading.
but he cannot um, do it 100%. but he knows, he understands people once they lip read. And other,
And, and does he depend on illustrations, on drawing, on visual cues, or is it mainly on the reading and the sign language?
uh, sign language, let's say more.
And he
He also relies on other things, but sign language is his key.
okay, yes. Has this hearing impairment impacted your family's daily life and routine?
I'll be lying if I tell you no,
Mm.
but yes, it has impacted it. So the communication between the children and us, it built something unique, something special. We had to adapt with the communication of sign language, even in the crowded environments. It also impacted the education, in which we had, sorry to tell you, but the financials, it affected it. So we were specialized education services also are costly, as you know. So that was one of our problems. And also it impacted the healthcare, in which all the doctors and all the
And this is not included
tests
in the
and
insurance,
examination.
correct?
Excuse me?
This was not included in your insurance. It was all on your
Yes,
bill.
it was
There
on.
was no insurance does not cover anything.
No, the insurance does not cover anything.
Okay. And do you feel
And
like he is bullied at school? I know he's
um,
still young and probably young to maybe explain his emotions. But as far as you know, do you feel like he's being bullied or is he accepted by his classmates in school?
okay, so something very normal for children to try to bully him. But me and my wife always try to tell him that he is special for being in his situation. So he takes the bullying that occurs at school and turns it into something positive.
Okay. Um, okay, we discussed how you communicate with your child. And you mentioned how you learn sign language as well. I'm just
Yeah.
going through the questions. What
Okay,
advice
take your time.
what advice would you give to other parents who have a child with a hearing impairment?
Um, I'll tell them patience, 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 patience. You'll get through everything, every difficulty in life, you'll get through it. So patience is the key.
And now that it's been years later, do you feel like you digested it better or are you still going through the same challenges?
At first, it was very difficult, but now I have digested it. It became a lifestyle. Um, we love our son. We have to accept him in all his things.
Yes.
So it's easier now, let's say.
What are some of the most rewarding aspects of a parent having a child with a hearing impairment?
Anything that he does, we see it as special. He goes through all these milestones in life and he achieves his goals. And those are the rewarding things that we see. It's you seeing a child with, let's say, this small disability, and you see him achieving goals better than other people, you'll be so proud of your child. And also so once we learned the sign language, I don't know about my wife, but I felt a deeper connection with my family and with the child, my child Saeed. So that's, to wrap it all up, that's it.
Um, excuse me.
So,
Can you please just repeat the last point? I kind of lost you.
in which one?
No, what you just said, I lost you.
Okay, so I was telling you that
It was you were
what
talking
point
about a
exactly?
deeper connection.
I was telling you about a deeper connection. So for me, I don't know about my wife, but I saw that us learning the sign language, it helped us communicate more, not only with Saeed, but with all the rest of his siblings. Got us closer. It got us understanding for the relationship that we are building.
How does Saeed communicate with his other classmates? Do the other classmates know sign language? Or does he communicate via lip reading? Does he have an interpreter in class? What are the accommodations in school?
Okay, so we also helped him. I don't know the word in Arab in English, but نطق,
Speech therapist.
a speech therapist, yes. So she helped him to use simple words in order for him to communicate, let's say, um, the bare minimum of the communications. Um, but he uses lip reading, he uses sign language. Sometimes there's an interpreter, but not always. So he has to like go through things by his own.
And this interpreter is on your cost, or does the school provide this accommodation?
Uh, my wife is handling the finances, so I really don't know
Okay.
if it's on the school or if it's on us. I'll get back to her and double check, and I'll send you.
No, no, it's fine. Um, so you mentioned that he went to a speech therapist. At
Yes.
what age did you begin taking him to a speech therapist? At a younger age, for sure, correct? Do you remember exactly what age?
Uh, so let's say a year after, not a year, a couple of months after
The
he was
diagnosis.
diagnosed. Yeah.
Okay.
So like a couple of months after that he was diagnosed.
Okay. And you began with the speech therapist, and now
Yes.
he can talk, but let's say you don't really understand what's being said, correct?
Exactly, yes. He talks, but so because we are his parents, we understand what he's saying, but some people find it difficult just to comprehend what he's saying.
Okay. So people, let's say from the outside, really don't understand what he's saying. Is that what you mean?
No, they understand, but they find a bit of difficulties. I know
Okay.
they have to well observe what he's trying to say with his face expressions and his body language in order for you to receive the best words that
Okay.
he's saying.
Okay. You've answered all my questions, Mr. Muhammad. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you like to add anything? Would you like to state something or maybe just ask me something if you wish?
No, I don't have any questions, but if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Don't hesitate to ask me. And if you want other questions, I'll ask my wife and we'll sort it out. I'll send you an email if you have any questions. I'll answer them. But feel free to ask me anything you want.
No, all is done, all is covered. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr.
You're
Muhammad. Thank you for
you're
your time.
welcome. I hope that I helped you.
Thank you. Yes, you did. Thank you.